So when it came to materially and perpetually destroying Glengad, which is what this would have done. I know it looks dreadful at the moment, but the damage done there is remediable. If they got their beachhead, there would be no remediation. It would be materially and perpetually altered. And it was for that I said, right, when the Solitaire, I had told the Solitaire's owners and the master of the Solitaire that once they came inside Broadhaven Bay, I would begin a hunger strike.
So how many days are you into your strike now?
This is the third day.
The third day. And how's it going along for you?
So far, all right. Yeah. Well, I did engage in all planning and regulatory processes in good faith up until it came to the EPA, and I find it impossible to kind of accept the bona fides of the EPA, because I think they're a peculiar bit. But anyway, there was another reason for that. But in terms of local authority, planning appeals, submissions to the Department of the Marine, and all of this was done taking up a whole lot of time and effort. Well, you had to learn about it to be able to critique it. Every single last one, you now have the idea that they probably just had a titter and a snigger and binned it and said, you know, well, that's that. We'll tick a box here or there, and that's us fine. So when it came to the EPA, I did not make an observation or an appeal, because you see, in one of the first promo video that came out for this, the head of IBEC at the time, she certainly had a position in IBEC, was Dr. Mary Kelly. And she came on that video, you know, saying, oh, it was great, and anyway, people need not be worried, because it would have to apply for an IPPC licence, and that would be going to the EPA. By the time it got to that stage, Mary Kelly was the head of the EPA. You know, so where to from there? So that was my first break with acting. Well, because I couldn't act in good faith. I didn't do it. I did speak at the thing while the oral hearing was on, just to put that bit on record. And now, I mean, they got this bit of a proposed pipeline accepted under the Strategic Infrastructure Bill, which was only mooted after Bert Planola upheld our appeal.
You know, you've tried different things, and you know, a lot of people would see this as kind of, you know, an extreme step up. I mean, do you think it's necessary now to take that action?
Well, I felt it was for this place, and to try once more to highlight the whole giveaway that we are being belted and battered and bruised for, and have been for the past 8 years, and it has escalated in typical fashion. You know, following with the Shell pro forma cards, anywhere Shell are. Certainly in places where there's weak government, where they can get away with whatever they want, then Shell will do just that. And they will escalate it. You know, always kind of in trying to say, well, we have our consents and we're within the law. You know, they're the most lawless shower of so-and-sos that you can come across. And they do it, they are the subverters. See, subversion is supposed to be a nasty word and mean a particular type. But subversion, as far as I'm concerned, the subversives wear suits and collars and ties, because what they have done if they would have been willing to be subverted anyway. But that unholy alliance between the corporations and the state, where one is bad and the other is worse, is what has got us here. And we still continue to fight. It's difficult to remember, or for people to understand, that this place was literally a quiet, rural, green field place where people got on about their daily lives. There'd be the usual squabbles and fights or whatever, but I call that a definition of community as well. But it was a way of life that had continued in a staged fashion from when habitation first began, and it has a strong historical context. So it was the thought that this whole project could be imposed upon us, and not alone imposed, but kind of facilitated at every stage by the local authority, the local planning authority, by all regulatory agencies. And then when we did successfully appeal Mayo County Council's decision to on Bord Pleanála and won that appeal, it was very interesting how Shell got their local hacks, Shell and Fianna Fáil, called what we call a Nuremberg rally in Belmullet in July '03. And it was interesting that you had the two Fianna Fáil TDs from Galway, Frank Fahey and O'Keefe. You had none of them from Mayo. They were gone AWOL that night. But this was to kind of beg Shell to come back. And it was the most contrived, cynical thing, but it worked. It worked for Shell because that's the meeting they still refer to. And it was done deliberately and cynically, and a lot of people who would have been at that meeting, some of them would have been fishermen who would have hoped that the times was the inshore boats. They were told, well, you know, O'Keefe will see what he can do for you on the night. Anyway, that's the type of rotten little state we're living in. And it would be interesting to count the cost in delays to Shell arising from their refusal to consider doing it properly in the first place. Because they're going to make all the billions out of it anyway. There's a few crumbs to be thrown to the country, but absolutely nothing to be of long-term benefit to the people. As I said, it won't build a new school in Cahersiveen. It won't provide cancer services north of the Dublin-Galway line. Shell aren't going to do that. They're not obliged to anyway, but Shell have got such a sweet, sweet deal from Ray Burke and Bertie Ahern, and we are paying the price of it. We are the ones who are being heavy-handed by the cops. Had 3 Navy boats in at the height of the lunacy, which I believe costs about $1 million a week to run, and not to mention all the amount of drugs that's being smuggled in while they're up here watching fishermen and kayakers.